Hello, everyone. Welcome. Very excited to present today my roadmap for growing a social media following. So to kick off, I'll just quickly give a broad overview. So I've created the channel's ARC guide, which give an overview of really complicated topics broken down into their most simple form. So in the past, roughly 18 to 24 months, I've managed to garner about 45 million views, 100,000 plus followers, and one thing I haven't mentioned yet, I've managed to do it all in my spare time. I'm actually a full-time building designer. I've done everything I'm about to mention in this entire presentation, all in my free time. Kicking off, I'd like you to raise your hand if you have a social media account of any sort. It could be Facebook, YouTube. Brilliant, pretty much the entire room. This is going to be awesome. So many things to share. So one thing with social media that we really need to keep in mind is that to grow, you have to post content. The number one rule to grow on social media, you have to be posting content. For me, my initial thoughts were, I'm going to try this experiment, but the minimum threshold for action is going to be 100 videos within the course of a year. So that roughly averages out to about one video every 3 days. And the type of content I'm going to be talking about today is vertical format, 60-second video content. This is what I've had success with over the past 18 to 24 months. It's the type of content that we can create right now that with one video, with just one video, we can post it to 4 different platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So with one video, we can get 4 times the amount of distribution and reach from just one piece of effort. So if you create one video just on a topic, you can post it up one, and then it's an entire different pool of audience for each different platform. So with one bit of effort, you can 4x your outcome. So these are the times that we're in right now. It's an incredible time to be posting. So next up, the 4 actions that we need to do when we are creating social media content is number 1, idea generation. Number 2 is the actual filming itself, videoing footage that's going to be visually compelling that people actually want to watch. Number 3 is editing. So we're honing and refining this footage until it's hard to look away from. And then 4, actually publishing it to the platforms. No one's going to see your stuff if you don't publish it. So that's a really, really big one. So make sure you publish your content. To get kicked off, I want to make this a bit more interactive. I want you to actually have a roadmap to take with you when you go home. So first thing, what is something that you wish you knew when you first started? For number 2, it's what's something that you've recently solved. So this could be a problem that you've solved for a client. So this could be anything from zoning. I've done stuff in heritage zones just recently. Something that you've recently solved. It doesn't have to be DCP stuff. It could be a tricky site. Just something that you've solved, because these are actual problems that are actually providing solutions. So if you have a video that promotes a solution to a problem, it actually has an audience. So number 2, a problem that you've actually solved. And number 3, something that you wish you had the time to learn, or something that you've been putting off and you're keen to learn. So number 3, something that you've been trying to get around to try and learn. So exercise number 2, all you need for each of those different ideas is just 4 good sentences. My basic structure for those 4 sentences, what is it called, what is its purpose and function, and a practical example. So I'm just going to go through and play this video for you now.
These wings divert water from the joist. The material they're made of is a flexible PVC that's fixed to the top, which helps avoid moisture damage like severe rotting and extend the life of a deck.
So this video here, this has garnered over 2 million views over all the different platforms. So a very, very simple, very, very short video has managed to garner that attention with just 4 good sentences. Next thing, with your filming, the beautiful thing is everything that you need is already in your pocket. And it's not your wallet, it's not this lady's flowers, it is your phone. The first 150 videos I filmed for the entire channel were all filmed on the phone. This is a massive shortcut. So for you, if you've been putting it off just because you've been thinking, maybe I need to get DSLR, I need to learn all the different technology. No, literally use the phone that's in your pocket. I use an iPhone 12, it's not even the latest phone. So with the technology that you've got right now, you can get in and start making videos. One thing, just while we are going through this here at the moment, if you are looking to upgrade one piece of gear, one thing I would highly recommend off the start is getting decent audio. The first thing, like the great thing is on your phone, the audio is already pretty good, but if you can upgrade your audio, it's a massive leap forwards. And it doesn't cost that much. Honestly, you're looking at anywhere in the ballpark of $100 to maybe $300. So with just a small investment, you can really upgrade the quality of your content just with doing the microphone stuff. With these examples here, you'll see 3 different images. They're actually videos. I'm going to play through in a second. I want you to make it easy for you because we're not all born being comfortable in front of a camera. Like I personally wasn't. It took a lot to get used to actually jumping up in front of the camera. So what I'd really encourage, this first video here I'm just about to play, there is not like a person in the footage at all. It is all just video of the subject that I've chosen. And each one of these videos has managed to garner over 1 million views. So you can make compelling content even if your face isn't in front of it. Although it can be a benefit, I would say, down the track. So I'll see if I can play this one. Any luck?
That line down the blockwork is a control joint. When there's a change in temperature, moisture levels, or loading, masonry work goes through small changes in size. Control joints give space for this expansion and contraction to help avoid problems like cracking.
So I wasn't in that one at all, but again, over 1 million views. So I'd say from there, if you can baby step up into the point where you can actually be in the videos yourself, you're building on your brand. So you're actually being in front of the video and you're being recognizable as well. So this is where I built up into, say, the next example.
For a practical example of a water stop, we're going to use this chopping board. All of this is to prevent water from seeping towards the underside, which may cause corrosion and damage. The drip inducer breaks the flow of water along the surface and causes it to drip off. Any water that makes past the drip inducer, the drip groove, a tapered recess or notch, serves as a water stop. A plastic or timber fillet is nailed to the formwork to create a chamfered edge. Once poured and the formwork is removed, we have a drip inducer and groove.
Excellent. All right. So again, it might be a little bit over the 4 sentences, but still under the 60 seconds. So again, I was just in a couple of small parts of that clip, but it was mostly just showing the information in a compelling way, just really trying to refine and condense that information. And number 3, this is a talking head, which literally you can just set up a tripod and with your 4 sentences, talk to camera. And that way, honestly, people find it more engaging when they're looking at someone in their eyes. So if you do get comfortable enough to where you can have talking head content, it is an advantage if you can do it.
This is a keystone. For a masonry arch, it's the final piece put into place during construction and locks all the pieces into position, which allows the arch to bear weight. You'll find that keystones are often enlarged beyond their structural requirements and are often decorated.
So next up, the video editing. This is where we take the interesting footage that we've put together, that we've actually captured, and we can really sharpen and hone it. One thing I want you to really keep in mind, maybe even write it down, is every second needs to earn its next second. So with this in mind, video editing is where we can really sharpen our video. So we're taking out all the silences. Big thing with video is that it's a one-way conversation. So when there's a pause in a conversation, it's usually a prompt to let the next person talk. So it gives that little bit of a gap, someone can jump in, they can have a bit of a chat here with you. Video, that's not the case. You want to cut out all the silences because every single second that goes by where you're not getting to the point, where you're not showing something compelling or visually interesting, you're competing with the rest of the internet. You're just a swipe away with a thumb. So it has to be visually compelling. Now, I don't do particularly fancy stuff. I'm not doing VFX or anything like that. It's literally just chopping up the footage so it's visually interesting and compelling. Maybe zoom into something here, zoom out, use text, and also, where I can, having talking heads looking directly to the camera. So it's engaging on a couple of different fronts. So if they're not looking at this, they can at least be looking at this. All right, next up, for actually editing. First thing, avoid introducing yourself. This might sound a little bit counterintuitive. You're thinking maybe, like, I want these people to know who I am so they can engage with me. It's not the case, they don't care. They really don't care. They can just look at it in your bio. And this is the beautiful thing. If they see an awesome video they're really engaged with, they just click on the little icon of your actual social media profile. They can find out more about you on that front. So avoid the introduction, let the content speak for itself, and get them engaged and hooked as quickly as you can. You might have more provision for this, say on something like long form content, but on short form, every second really needs to earn its next second. You're just a swipe away from never being seen again. Number 2, keep it visually compelling. So whatever you're actually trying to illustrate and what you're trying to show, In each of the different shots, I'm trying to make it stand out. So this video just over here, this is about a whirlybird. Now, I've got it against a very clear sky so they can see exactly what it is. So clarity is another really big one as well. So clarity and making sure that it's visually compelling. So those 2 points there. Number 3, if you're not sure whether to cut it, you're just like, it kind of adds a little bit extra context to what I'm saying. It bridges the gap a little bit. But if you're still on the fence, if you think it slows the video down, just take it out. If they want to know more, they can engage you, they can ask you. And one of the biggest things for getting videos to really take off, if people engage with your content, if there's a tremendous amount of comments, people talking in your comment section, that's just going to boost it through the algorithm. So if you're not sure, just cut it out. Next one is evergreen. Evergreen is one of my favorite concepts that I've ever came across. So with evergreen content, you want it to be good now and you want it to be good in 5 years' time or even 5 years ago. So what is content that is contextually relevant now but can also be relevant in years to come? So how can you make your content so that has a longer shelf life so that it doesn't actually just maybe span a couple of days, then all of a sudden you just have to get back on that treadmill again. All right, so I'll give another little example here.
This is a whirlybird. They're installed to help ventilate a roof space. When the roof space gets hot, it transfers to the room below, but when it's well ventilated, it reduces the buildup and helps avoid this. Ventilation also helps prevent moisture buildup. They're waterproof and completely powered by the wind.
Alrighty, so with this video over here, again, over 2 million views, but the cool thing is it's got over 1,000 comments. And with the comments, it was really interesting to see all that coming in, was people were saying, when I was walking down the street when I was a kid, I'd see those, I never knew what they were. I never knew what their function was. So they're just tagging their friends in, they're showing and they're sharing and they're engaging. So if you can make content where it engages the content, engages the audience, that's another massive win. If you can start a dialogue, if you can start a conversation, 100% get into it. It's a massive boost. Number 3. I was doing a bit of research on procrastination and I came across Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law essentially dictates that a task will shrink or grow in relation to the amount of time that it is given. So 3 points I like to ask myself is, number 1, what is the one video that you're working on right now? In front of you, you've probably got about 3 different videos, 3 different video ideas, but only select one. Then from that one, write those 4 good sentences. With those 4 good sentences written down, we can then move on to figuring out how long it's actually going to take you to make. We want to find out how many hours this is going to take. Is it going to take you 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? Actually know what that time is. Otherwise, you're literally just not going to plot it in. I've got a group where we talk regularly about content creation, and it's just so good to put each other on the roast and just say, all right, what's the current video you're working on? How long is it going to take you? And when is your optimistic publish date? So when are you actually going to publish this for people to actually be able to watch it? So with these 3 things, we can really cut to the juice of it and make things actually happen. So I'd encourage you, if you've been on the fence, you've been contemplating it, write these 3 things down, just making sure that these things are actually going to happen. In conclusion, all that you need is 4 good sentences. All you need is 4 good sentences to create a compelling message that can really draw people in. Number 2, everything you need is already in your pocket and in your head. And number 3 is now is the absolute best time to be doing this. So if you do decide to use this roadmap, I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you.